I'm joined by Anissa, who is a youth consultant who co-authored the State of the Nation report card, and we're excited to kick this morning off with a keynote from the Children's Commissioner for England, Dame Rachel de Souza.
Good morning, and thank you so much for inviting me to speak here today. I know we're not all in the same room this morning, but whenever I'm given the privilege of speaking to colleagues in education, I feel that sense of togetherness, knowing we're all working together towards the same goal. Might not always seem like that, as a quick glance at Edu Twitter might tell you, but if you revisit the Fair Education Alliance's vision statement, that no child's success should be limited by their socio-economic background, that's a cause we can all get behind. So, in the search for a system which addresses inequality better than today's, what's next? My message today is that despite what we've been through, there is cause for optimism. And my basis for that claim is the response to the Big Ask, the national survey I put out this year. 500,000 children responded, and their strength of spirit came right through. Overwhelmingly, 80% of them felt positive or optimistic about their lives. More than that, their voices were absolutely united across age, gender, religion, heritage, place of birth, income level. They all said they value the same things: a loving family, building great communities, building a better, fairer, greener world. The more I read, the more I felt that these young people show exactly the kinds of qualities you'd want to encourage in society. As 1 year 11-year-old boy told me, hope isn't just an individual thing. It's built on a sense of togetherness. People should work on their dreams because you can do it. Me and a lot of people believe in you. You can do it. I know that. Just go after your dreams. For those of us in this sector, 3 clear priorities stood out. This generation have said they want a good education, a good job, and good mental health. It's great to see children back in the classroom, but we know the attainment gap in national qualifications is unacceptable and is almost certain to grow. So if there's a new wave of change in education, I think we should embark on a multi-year project to design higher quality support as part of our basic offer to children, so fewer fall behind. What we're describing here is a system where we make the following commitments to children. We have high expectations. We believe you can get there. We'll give you every chance of meeting expectations and will not let you fall behind, both pastorally and academically. If there are barriers to your success in education, you'll be given the support you need. High expectations and success does not necessarily have to mean A-levels and university. If the best route to a career means a different form of training or employment, an apprenticeship, entry-level job, you should be given the information and support to make a success of that. These commitments could be read as a naive guarantee of success for all children. No, they're a fair chance to all pupils, whatever their circumstances. We've seen some bold steps in the right direction, such as Cradle to Career approach, which aims to develop beyond school capacity, a wraparound community support to give pupils the best possible start in life. We've seen meaningful spending commitments on mental health support teams, which would create bold opportunities for collaboration between schools and the NHS. To deliver this at a national scale will mean giving schools the means to create bold interventions where they're needed most. And that will often mean being part of a family of schools, a high-functioning network. Of course, for some in the sector, it's not the way we support pupils that's wrong, it's how we measure progress. And there's been much discussion of assessment reform. I'm listening carefully, but structural work on assessment's complex and takes time. Disadvantaged children need support now. So in the short term, schools will need to use catch-up funding wisely to address the consequences of the last year in all their complexity. Looking further ahead, given that we're at such a clear inflection point in policy making, it's worth asking if we've been ambitious enough. When we ask children what might hold them back in the future, a 16-year-old boy told us the social stigma of children from lower class backgrounds trying to achieve something bigger than themselves. I'll read that again. Children from lower class backgrounds trying to achieve something bigger than themselves. We should tell him, of course, there is nothing bigger than the lives of children. So let's try to match that young man's ambition, the same ambition shown by the Fair Education Alliance, and give children the support they need to make their aspirations real. It's what they richly deserve.
Anita and I were fortunate enough yesterday to get to interview the Children's Commissioner, so you'll see a short clip from that now.
So thank you again for joining us today, Dame Rachel, and for sharing your thoughts on the current situation on inequality in education and your findings from the Big Ask in the speech. So in the speech, you mentioned the cradle to career approach in supporting young people, which I found really interesting. It really resonated with me. So I was wondering if you could elaborate on this a bit more.
Yeah, so I mean, I was referring in my speech particularly to a school called Reach out in Feltham that literally starts engaging with the parents of its future students when, you know, the mothers are pregnant and they're coming to the NCT classes. So they put on everything from, you know, early help for families, and they go right the way through. Now, I'm really inspired by that because I think there's so much that we can do in the classroom, and I really believe in the power of education. And, you know, great nursery education, great education is great, but we also know if we put in that early intervention and help families who are struggling early, we can keep them together, help them thrive, help parents thrive as parents, help children thrive. And that's why I was really pleased to see, actually, in the spending review, it was something I'd really argued for coming out of the Big Ask, a substantial amount of money going into family hubs, help with early education. It is the answer. Now, we could talk the other side as well, but I think that kind of cradle to career, you know, in the Big Ask, children talk to us about their passion for getting a good job and wanting to know about the world. So I think there's a whole lot of things schools do and can do about linking with apprenticeship offers, you know, really helping young people know what options are out there. So that was a bit of a summary, but those are the things that I think I'm very passionate about.
That sounds amazing. It definitely resonated with me, the whole sense of continuity. So when I was at secondary school, there wasn't a lot of information on what we could do post 16, let alone information on university. So it meant that I reached sixth form, a lot of the time was spent on independently researching what I could do next and what my options were.
Do you know, Anita, so many children and young people in the Big Ask sort of put as a priority just wanting to know more about their options and what jobs and careers there are. And I've worked in so many places where there are fantastic employers. For example, in Great Yarmouth, you've got the whole offshore industry with tons of jobs, not just engineers, a massive range of jobs. And actually, you know, children and young people in school not really understanding and able to connect up to that, or, you know, or understanding what courses they needed to do that. Now, one of the things I'd like to do is get business and industry far more engaged with schools and actually start working on pathways, getting to know young people, to get those jobs in training. Everyone doesn't have to go to university. There are lots of different options. And I think when it comes to universities, I think we need to be far clearer and more transparent about what actually is on offer to young people, and help, you know, 16 to 18-year-olds and younger really make the right decision for them.
I most definitely agree with that. I'm going to pass over to Alfie now to ask the next question.
Yeah, thank you, Anissa, and thank you for that answer. I think it's really interesting that you mentioned that sort of a great education isn't just about schools, it's about the whole wraparound support from engaging parents, the community, sort of role models within the community, and healthcare and social care and all those other sort of factors. I wonder as well, how can you listen to, involve and engage young people to really get this sort of, you know, achieve the actions that you've outlined?
So I think the first thing I did when I became Children's Commissioner was listen to children. I knew that was what we had to do. We'd just been through this sort of, you know, once in a lifetime, you know, world pandemic, and I wasn't seeing enough, I think, of the adults talking to children, whether that was government or others, you know, in public places. So that listening was really important. And you know what? I was so overwhelmed by the size of the response. Now, it did help that I got Marcus Rashford to help me launch the thing, but still, over 500,000 responses shows that children and young people really do want their voices heard. So my thing is, absolutely, we should consult children and talk to children and seek their views on every policy, the Department for Education and other departments that do things for children, we should definitely consult them, seek their views.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I know it's something we talked about on the strategy group about, the youth engagement group. It's all about not just listening to young children, but like you say, really understanding their perspectives, treating them as equal collaborators, not just listening to them and sort of discarding their ideas. I think that's really interesting.
And Alfie, I would say one of the things I'm trying to do at the moment is go out and share the findings of the survey with young people and show them. I spent the whole summer talking to different government departments about what children have said. And I think trying to find really good ways to give that feedback back to children and show what has happened, because I think you could get a bit fed up sometimes and think everyone asks me my views, but no one does anything. And I think we need to really communicate that feedback well. Look, we took your views. This is what happened. This was the outcome. And there are some really big things. I'm surprised and really happy about how many government ministers and cabinet ministers want to hear what children are saying. It's not a like we're not interested. So I think there's a job for us all to do to get those voices up there and get the communication going both ways.
I'd just like to finish off by thanking you for your time and for being a part of the annual summit.
It's my privilege. Thanks, and hope to see you both soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I really enjoyed doing that interview yesterday. Alfie, what did you think of Dame Rachel's answers to our questions?
Yeah, thank you, Nisa. I really enjoyed it as well. I think something she raised both in the keynote and in the interview that was really interesting was this idea about wraparound support, and that giving children the best start to life isn't just about formal education, it's about informal education. So the community centres, involving parents, involving role models in the community. I think she highlighted that really well, that it's everybody's responsibility to give children the best opportunities, not just schools and not just sort of people who explicitly work within education. What do you think, Anissa? What sort of stood out for you?
So I definitely agree with you, but another point that really stuck out to me was the need to get businesses involved early in education. So networking is a key part of how you find out which career paths you're interested in at university, but this can be tricky. So if businesses are involved early in education, this not only gives students exposure to firm and sector information, but it also teaches students how to engage with businesses, know which questions to ask and which opportunities they provide earlier on than they would have at university. And so this gives them the chance to know if they actually want to go to a university or take an apprenticeship or an entry-level job. So Alfie, how do you think young people can work with everyone here today to reduce inequality in education?
I think, first of all, that everybody who works with young people should have the voices of young people at the heart of everything they do. So that involves listening to young people and having young people involved in their organisations, and that's from the smallest of sort of groups, in the classroom, all the way up to national groups, Ofsted, the Department for Education. I think that especially organisations to get young people with lived experience of disadvantage to really listen to what they have to say and their perspectives. I think, with them, can we make education fairer? I think we're running out of time, unfortunately, now, so I'll hand over to Tisha, who's leading the next session. Thank you, Anissa.
Thank you so much, Dame Rachel, Alfie and Anissa, for your incredibly inspiring words and setting the scene so perfectly with the theme of ambition and wraparound support and effective partnership as we now move into the celebration of our 2021 Innovation and Entrepreneurship Award winners. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tisha.
And I'm Shane.
And together we lead our awards programs for supporting innovation and entrepreneurship, which, with our Scaling Award that you learned more about yesterday from our colleague C1, take a networked approach to nurture new ideas and scale impactful solutions to reach the young people who need it most.
The Innovation Award supports individuals with high potential ideas.
And our Entrepreneurship Award harnesses the first-hand knowledge and skills of our diverse membership to address the root causes of educational inequality. Our Innovation and Entrepreneurship Award winners receive a year-long programme of support and a £15,000 salary contribution to establish a new venture or to internally innovate within their organisation to establish a new initiative. We are so delighted to kick off the celebration this morning with a few words from Bloomberg, who have made the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Awards possible. So it's my great pleasure to now hand over to Caroline Rowley, Head of UK, Ireland and Middle East Corporate Philanthropy at Bloomberg, for a few words. Over to you, Caroline.
Thanks so much. I'm actually feeling the pressure following Alfie and Anissa. They were so fantastic. But good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here today. Our founder, Mike Bloomberg, believes that every young person deserves the chance to get a high quality education, no matter where they live or how much money their family earns. And we know that access to high quality, inclusive education helps to strengthen our communities and makes the places where we live and work more vibrant and prosperous. As a result, we've been a long-term supporter and advocate of education initiatives that raise aspirations and level the playing field both here in the UK and globally. We're incredibly proud to support the Fair Education Alliance, building on the legacy of our partnership with the Innovation Unit, but also supporting existing charities to scale their reach and nurturing new innovative ideas to address unmet needs within education. And I'm sure that I don't need to tell anyone here today about the disproportionate impact of the pandemic on our vulnerable communities. And although we've seen incredible innovative measures to address educational inequality in the recent years, the need is unfortunately greater than ever. There is, however, room for optimism. As we've seen with the recent climate change talks, young people across the UK are passionate, dedicated, and unafraid to stand up for what they believe in. It's vital that we harness this energy, and that's why the work of the Fair Education Alliance and their belief in collaboration and collective action is so critical. I was personally lucky enough to sit on one of the judging panels for the awards and was absolutely blown away by the innovative ideas they have developed, but also by their passion and their commitment. Their ideas couldn't come at a more important time and will provide our young people with a platform for growth and success. We're so excited, and I'm personally so excited about supporting the award winners on their journey, and I can't wait to see their collective impact over the coming months and years. Thanks so much for having me, and I hope you all have a great morning.
Thank you so much, Caroline. We are just so incredibly grateful for your unwavering support to innovate and scale initiatives, your investment in the award winners, and your belief in the networked approach to impact. And we are so thrilled to be on the journey with you with the 2021 award winners.
The Innovation and Entrepreneurship Awards are annual awards, and over the past year, we've supported 10 award winners. We hope you've had the chance to meet some of them in various sessions already, and you will meet some of them today, including the wonderful Dana, a 2020 Innovation Award winner, who I will hand over to now to share a few words on her experience of the award.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here and be back in the FEA family and see some new faces. And yeah, I appreciate the invitation, Cheyenne and Tisha, to join you. And I'm already so impressed with the program today. Thank you, everyone who has already spoken, and thank you, everyone who is here to celebrate the new award winners. Congratulations to all of you. I'll start by introducing myself formally. I'm Dana Saxon, the founder of Ancestors Unknown. And yeah, as Cheyenne mentioned, I'm a 2020 award winner, and my intention is with Ancestors Unknown to introduce young people to a new way of learning history and really to disrupt history education by introducing young people to family history research and other untold histories in a classroom context, but also taking those conversations at home and within their communities. So the goal as an innovator and as a business founder, I think has always been for me to, as we've been talking about already today, impact the lives of young people and give them better opportunities. Now, that is not something that just comes naturally if you have a great idea to start a business. I think any entrepreneur can say, there comes a little bit of psychosis with that. Like, I'm going to start something new, I'm going to create change, and I'm going to do things differently. Something's not working, so I want to create change. And that it's a wonderful intention, but if you're like me, you need support to do that. You need people to believe in you to do that. You need to know how to do that and how to effectively make that change. And so it was such a perfect time when I learned about Fair Education Alliance, because it's not just the grant and the support, but it's also the idea that there are all of these people who believe in fair education and who believe in creating change, which as an entrepreneur who felt that way, and I really wanted to do this work and commit to it full time, without that support in my, regular life, I've typically had this, sense of naysayers, people saying that certain things aren't possible, or there are too many challenges and there are too many barriers, not only in education, and that, it's too late to create change, these types of negative feelings, but also you don't have what it takes, or that might be coming from more internally. You don't have what it takes, or it's going to be too difficult. So I feel like, when you do have this type of innovation and you do have this belief in young people and creating change, we need this type of community to make it happen and to believe in our possibilities. So it's just been such a game changer for me to join the FEA family and be a part of the incubator and get the experience, but also being a part of this FEA world has also made so much of a difference. So I'm so pleased that the new award winners will have this opportunity that we had last year. And I can't wait to see all of the work that you all are able to achieve, and the work that we can accomplish together as a result. So congratulations again, and I'm looking forward to learning more about you in the future.
Thank you, Dana. So great to hear about your experience of the award and the progress you made through the year-long program. It's been wonderful to see the progress Ancestors Unknown has made over the past year. And in particular, it was heartening for me to hear about the sense of community you derived from being a part of the award. We will now be moving into our showcase, our spotlight on the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Award winners. And I will now be handing over to Tisha for the segment.
Great. So we're so delighted now to be celebrating our fantastic 2021 award winners today. We received an incredibly high caliber of applications and undertook a rigorous selection process to select this year's winners. And a huge thank you to all the expert judges across the membership and wider network who supported with selection. Collectively, these initiatives have the potential to really shift the dial on educational inequality, because they bring together interventions ranging from direct delivery to systemic change. Today, you'll learn about our award winners' work with some of the most vulnerable children and young people, their focus on developing the whole child, and their innovative approaches to supporting parents and teachers.
Our 10 award winners will leverage the expertise and connections of our membership of over 230 cross-sector organizations to enhance the impact of their initiatives. So this is a journey the whole Alliance is part of. As you all know, what makes the Alliance so powerful is the fact that collaboration and collective action is at the heart of everything we do. So as you learn more about our award winners today, we want you to collaborate and take action by drawing on your experience and expertise to consider what support you could offer the award winners in making the greatest impact.
Now you're going to have the opportunity to learn more as we move into thematic breakout rooms for a panel discussion and Q&A with a selection of award winners in each room. I'll now share the focus of each room, and please also note the Twitter handles of your chairs and award winners so you can live tweet and amplify the fab discussion in each of these important themes. So room 1 will focus on those initiatives particularly targeting some of the most vulnerable children and young people, chaired by Natalie Pereira, Chief Executive of the Education Policy Institute and Trustee of the Fair Education Alliance. In this room, you'll hear from 3 award winners focused on children in care, equity and anti-bias culture in schools, and supporting the complex needs of children experiencing coastal poverty. In room 2, you will be focused on developing the whole child, chaired by Liz Robinson, co-director of Big Education. In this room, you'll hear from 3 award winners focused on employability skills, apprenticeships, and supporting young people at risk from gangs and youth violence. And finally, in room 3, you will focus on supporting parents and teachers, chaired by Andrea Sylvan, co-head teacher of School 360. In this room, you'll hear from 3 award winners helping parents in Manchester to better support their children's emotional needs, supporting teachers to process working with young people with a range of complex needs, and supporting Black educators to attain positions of senior leadership in schools. After you've learned more about these themes, the award winners and their work, we'll all come back here to the main room and we'll take some time to reflect, hearing from our chairs on their kind of key reflections from leading those thematic discussions, and critically to hear from you on what offers of support you can make to accelerate the award winners' progress. So do keep note of this and be ready to share when we come back. We're about to launch our breakout rooms for this session. In order to select which room you would like, please click on the breakout rooms tab along the bottom of your Zoom window. If you then scroll down past the list of names, you will see the breakout room names: supporting the most vulnerable children, developing the whole child, and supporting parents and teachers. And you can select join on the right-hand side.